Hi, and welcome to the show. My name is Mina Rickey,
And I am Lydia Korjak.
and today we are interviewing Vlad what?
Arakcheyev.
I don't even gonna attempt to say that. But Vlad is an active investor, co-sponsor, and JV partner in 500 plus multifamily units and land development amounting to a multi-million-dollar portfolio.
Vlad is in charge of Zontic Ventures operations and asset management.
He is a member of the National Real Estate Investor Network.
Vlad has an extensive experience in sales and marketing for residential and commercial real estate.
Vlad has been leading direct marketing efforts as well as acquisition and disposition efforts relating to investing in the stress of market properties.
Vlad is skilled in acquisition negotiations, multiple creative financial strategies.
As a real estate agent licensed in New Jersey, Vlad has developed an extensive network of investors, real estate agents, contractors, and other relevant parties. And welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome
Uh,
to the show, Vlad.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Famous Vlad. So tell us who you are and what do you do?
Listen, my real estate journey's been a complete roller coaster. I started with being a regular real estate, I shouldn't say regular, but a real estate agent here in New Jersey. I am doing that still. And that took me to flipping, wholesaling, and then we bought few properties here in New Jersey and it was just not enough. So I think it was really a blessing that my wife, who doesn't have a lot of patience, she says, "Hey, listen, we got to stop with these smalls. We got to go big." So she bought the tickets to a huge multifamily conference in Houston. We went over there, and that really transformed my thinking and the way I view real estate. And as soon as we came back home, we immediately started interviewing mentors and joined Jake and Gino. And after that, everything took off. It took a lot of education, about 8 months for me, and I'm still learning every day, but 8 months just to know the basics, I should say. And then about 8 months later, we got into a first deal. And yeah, I resigned from my W-2. I used to be a graphic designer, so I burned all the boats so I can 100% focus on real estate and multifamily and residential. So yeah.
Wow.
I want to say, everybody, that I am very inspired by Vlad and his wife, Olga, that is not here today. But they are so intentional on the way they live, the way how they do things, how they think of things. I'm just inspired by them.
Yeah, definitely, especially Olga. She's my sister from another mister, everybody. I love Olga very deeply. So I want to talk about your Zontic ventures.
Yeah.
How did that name came up and what it's all about?
Yeah, it's a play on word. So the way it started is like this. If you want something to happen, like really, really happen, it's like karma, right? You'd be like, oh my gosh, you really want it to happen, it's gonna happen. So my wife used to say all the time, she's like, we can't go to a park, it's gonna rain. And she goes, you'll see it's not gonna rain. I have umbrella, like an invisible umbrella or zontik, which is in Russian means umbrella. So she's like, it's not gonna rain, it's gonna work out. Boom, it happened, no rain. Like for example, if you want to go somewhere, but let's say you don't have the reservation or something like that, and she goes, you'll see, it's gonna work out. My umbrella or zontik will make it happen, and then the restaurant calls you back and be like, oh yeah, we just have this availability, just open right away, and I thought of you. And this how the whole thing got started. So it's basically based on karma, where if you really want something to happen, you really truly believe in something, it's gonna happen. So that's exactly how it's pretty unique, and we just kind of picked that name. So
That's cool, Vlad. But we all know that there also includes some work from ourselves too. I trust that your day goes pretty structured and it's pretty meaningful on all the work you do. What does a day look like for you, Vlad?
Yeah, you know what? Structure is everything for me. Before, I was scattered all over the place. And I started reading all the books and mentors, and everybody's telling me I need to block out my time. And everybody says that. Now, my day is completely blocked off with things like, for example, I get up around 5, or wake up, I should say, and then I have my meditation routine. So I meditate. I started with 5 minutes. Now I'm up to 40 minutes. I
Oh,
do
wow.
that and then I get up and then I have my time with the kids till they go to school, or now it's summer camp, it's summer. Then I have my exercise blocked off. So from, let's say, 8 o'clock to 8:30, somewhere around there, I exercise. I eat or not. It just depends on if I fast that day. I do intermittent fasting, and then my work day starts. The most important task is in the morning, where I probably do a lot of reaching out, prospecting, and then throughout the day I do podcast seminars, interviews, things of that nature, and or training videos. And then closer to the evening, it just kind of varies. It depends. Networking events in person, networking events on Zoom. So yesterday was a lot of in-person events.
Yes, I see you in Facebook and you like to show and be present. And you just take all those suggestions that we all hear, you just take them by heart and you just go and do it. So, what are you working on right now, Vlad? Is there any deals on the table right now?
There is a deal. Yeah, I can't really speak about it, but yeah, I do. I am working on a deal. It's 506B. It's in Texas. I work with the team that I worked with previously. We closed the deal in March and it worked out great. And the team invited us back to work again on a similar deal again. So I'm very excited, very pumped. As you know now, I mean, the deals don't come that often due to just market conditions, and you have rates and insurance to deal with. So yeah, so it's really, really exciting to get a really good deal, and especially being invited back to such an impressive team.
And how do you know it's a good deal?
Hey, listen, knowing Olga and her skills, valuating properties, she literally, what she does is instead of making the deal work, she pokes holes in it. Like she really tries to destroy the deal. Everybody says we underwrite conservatively. That goes without the question. So you really have to forget about underwriting or using a model. You just open up the rent roll of the T12 and really look at all the red flags that are there. Our coach was Bill Ham and Jake and Gino, and I see you have books over there on the table with
Right
him.
there.
That's what he teaches. Try to kill the deal. If you cannot kill it, you're in it. So we really, she re-underwrites all the deals that we receive. Even if, let's say, you bring us a deal tomorrow, not that we don't trust you, but she's gonna re-underwrite it. It's that kind of person. She is very, very, she wants to eliminate all the risk possible. So she believes herself and her skills. So, and I do too. And I
That
kind of
is
have to.
amazing. So instead of making the deal work, she's trying to kill the deal. So if the deal
Yeah.
doesn't die and resilient, then this is the deal that you want to be. That's very
Yeah.
totally opposite that what everybody's doing. Everybody's trying to make the deal work versus killing the deal.
Yeah.
That is great. Wow. Okay. I want to talk about like who's on your team. It's all about to be successful. It's not a solopreneur, it's entrepreneur, and it's all about our team. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's myself and my wife, and then of course through Jake and Gino, we met few others who are actually in Texas. They're part of Massive Capital right now. So there's Shariah, Mike Bailey. A lot of people know them. So I know them for over a year. We met multiple times. We know a lot of stuff about each other. We on calls pretty much daily. So I really trust those guys. They're amazing operators. I know their background. So if I have a deal or something like that, my first option or choice would be to go with them if I can do it by myself. On this deal in Dallas, I'm not with them. It's another operator. We know them as well. We vetted the operator and we look at their track record, look at how many deals they close, where they focused, and they happen to focus in the same market. So I met them at a networking event, and that relationship just took off. For me, I work with only two teams, literally just two teams. I will not, or we will not, let's say, jeopardize or risk our everything that we worked for, and just be scattered all over the place. We very, very hyper focused on the market, on the teams that we work with, and that's what we do. So we have to vet them for at least 6+ months, if not more.
Wow.
That's so important, everybody. That's the due diligence that nobody sees. But, if the deal goes wrong, then everybody starts to see on it, what's going on. But these guys are doing it before they even get into a deal. That is amazing. 6 months at least to be able just to get to know them well, see if there is any red flags, what's happening. Well, that's very intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of see how they work, right? So,
Hmm.
like for example, if the team is very structured and they reply to investor relations immediately, vertically integrated or not, that really doesn't matter. But if they are strictly focused and they're not just, let's say, if they have a W-2, that's kind of a red flag because if I call them, I want to be able to speak with them right away because it might be an emergency, you never know.
Hmm.
So I want them to be hyper focused on real estate, on multifamily, have experience. And you don't have to know everything. Just be really, really great at one thing. Just be awesome at it. So I'm being just hyper focused on that. And of course, doing background checks and just asking people, asking operators what their experience was with that certain group.
That is great. So usually we start out a show with some kind of funny story, which actually ended up a horror story in investment world. Can you tell us one of these stories?
Oh boy, yeah, I have a perfect story. So
Awesome.
we were buying this deal in Kansas City. It's 40 units, and we were supposed to close in December, like 15th of December of last year. So they moved up closing date to the 1st of December. And we filled out all the paperwork. It's a small JV, 40 units, $2 million purchase. So we filled out all the paperwork. So everything is okay. And I was about to go to a conference in Dallas. So I said to the team, hey guys, everything is ready, right? We're all good. And they said, yeah, yeah, no problem, Vlad. Just go. No problem. I'm at a conference. It's like, you know, second day, and I'm 2 miles away from the airport. There's nothing around me, just a hotel and nothing else. I get a call, and they're like, well, we just saw that the title company didn't fill out the paperwork correctly, so we're gonna have to fill out all the paperwork again, and you're gonna have to fill out your part, notarize it, and then overnight it with AM delivery to Kansas. I'm like, guys, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have no printer. I have no notary. I got nobody here. They're like, no pressure, Vlad. But if we're not going to close tomorrow, we're going to lose our rate and the deal will be half as good. And by the way, we're going to lose the bonus depreciation too. So, I'm like, no pressure. Yeah, sure, no problem. So I'm literally running around all the tables at the conference and screaming, who's a notary here? Not a single person's a notary. It's like 500 people, not a single one. I'm Googling notary. This one, nobody picks up. So this one woman, she's driving and she goes, I'm a notary, but I'm on the way to an appointment. So if you meet me in the middle of the road somewhere like half a mile away from the hotel, I'll notarize it for you. And roads in Texas, they're huge highways. They're like 5 lanes. So picture me running. There's no car. I have nothing. I'm running. I'm running with these papers that a
Ah,
concierge printed out for me, and I'm holding. I thought it's one paper. No, it was like 20. It's a book. So I'm running across like this field, this small field, to the side of the road. She stops stamping all the papers on top of the hood of her car. At the same time, I'm Ubering, and I'm like, "Where's the closest UPS?" She stamped everything. So I get the Uber pulls up like 10 minutes later, literally on the side of the highway. I jump in the Uber. I'm like, "Just take me to the UPS." That's like 10 miles away. He stops, and I see a UPS truck already pulling away. I'm running towards the truck, and I'm like, stop for a second. The guy looks at me like I'm a crazy person. I guess I had that look in my eye. And I'm like, listen, I have this envelope. I need this envelope to go out right away for AM delivery to Kansas. Can you wait for me for 10 minutes till I get the label? And the guy's like, okay, sure. And he's standing there waiting for me. I run inside the store, get the label, run outside, give it to him, and everything was okay. I was sweating like crazy. I'm like, I think I lost 5 pounds in water weight
Oh
while
my
I was doing this.
gosh.
We closed, so everything was great. But the experience, I'll never forget. It's not for
Wow.
everyone. Initially, my reaction was this. I'm like, what do I do? I give up. I
Mm.
can't do anything. And then I'm like, well, hold on a second. There's got to be always a solution here. I can never say no. There is no such thing as no. I have to figure this out. So I figured it out. It took me 3 hours, but I made it happen and we closed. So
It was your wife's umbrella all the
I
way.
know.
All the way the umbrella, Zontic. Zontic came into the play here.
Oh boy, it was something else.
Mina, I had an interesting experience the other day. I was showing properties to a family with 2 kids, and we had 10 to see. After viewing about half, the family was getting pretty hungry, and they really just wanted to continue the other day.
So what did you do?
I went to my car and pulled out a bag of delicious Rickey Jerky. They loved it so much they were able to continue our day without any issues. All the ingredients are 100% natural, plus every strip is seasoned, marinated, and smoked by hand to give you the best experience and slap you back into the gear. But I need to buy some more.
Oh, just head over to rickysjerky.com and use the discount code, the code REI, for 15% off your first order.
So whether you're a busy real estate agent or just looking for mouth-watering snack on the go, Rickey Jerky got you covered. Wow.
I think of life, and I think this is it's just every day we get little opportunities to go against our reactive nature and go against everything we know to go after our dreams. Except that this time it was a big challenge, and you really had to
But you
just
did
go
it.
after it, and you did it. Yes,
You did it, Vlad. You did it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I got to mention something here. There is this thing called e-notary. And
Yeah.
the law has passed that you can do a DocuSign has e-notary. So next
Oh.
time, God forbid, you're in a situation, you can get into DocuSign and you can do it e-notary with any document, and it's legit. And a lot of states passed their laws that it's acceptable, even Florida. So next time, just remember that.
Vlad,
Okay.
did you ever think about renting a car and driving all the way to
The thing is,
Kansas?
I didn't. You know what? I thought about just borrowing a car from someone. It was an event, so I go to the MC and I go, "Hey, listen, can you go on stage and can you just announce, is anybody a notary here?" Instead of me running around the table, or like, can I borrow
Mhm.
somebody's car? And the guy's like, "Well, they do in the presentation." So I'll announce it in like 45 minutes. I didn't want to wait 45 minutes. I just took action because I might have lost 45 minutes. And
Correct.
that truck
The truck
probably
would
would
have
have
been
pulled
gone.
away, and I
Mhm.
would have lost that opportunity to mail it out. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I have to do it myself. So I thought about like just borrowing a car from somebody and just going for it. But, it worked out.
The life of the investor. If you think everything is easy and hunky dory, this is what you have
No.
to do. You have to run, jog, stamp everything in the hood of the car, and then beg the driver to hold on. I mean, wow.
But with all of this, Vlad, it seems to me that you and, well, Olga and you, your wife and you, really enjoy this challenge in life and life situations. You guys embrace it with such a joy and passion. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that? How do you, that's beautiful. A lot of our youngsters are so lost. They are like zombies. There is no drive. Everything is given to them. There is no desire to grow and to share. How do you guys do it?
I don't, it's just so much fun because we see the potential of it, right? We see the true wealth, which is freedom of time. Even now, it's 11:20 a.m. If I had a W-2, I wouldn't be able to speak with you. This is, I'm not even there yet, but technically I am. I have this true wealth, freedom of time to do anything I want to do. We can stop this interview. I can just go outside. I don't have to ask my boss, oh, excuse me, can I just leave? No, I can just go. And I feel it, I see it. And it drives me even more to do this, because it's just the potential is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it. It's awesome. And my ultimate goal, of course, right now is to get enough passive income to cover my expenses, and then that's it. And then we're gonna 10x, 20x our goal.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
and it technically everybody says so, but I'll say it again. You don't have to be really, really, really smart to be successful in real estate. You just have to have enough drive and just grind it out, right? Like computer programmer, yeah, you gotta have skills. Attorney, yes. Doctor, of course. But in real estate, if you have drive and connections and really like push through the hard stuff, you'll be successful. So I really see huge potential there. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, for us is I'm blessed to have the same freedom of time. I feel wealthy and I am wealthy because really I can sleep an extra 30 minutes if I really want to. And I can go to bed early if I really want to, or late, or it doesn't matter. The funny thing about that is that because of that freedom, then there is the other side of things where it's just like, I don't want to waste it. I need to do something great with this. I want to savor it, and I savor it by growing. And personally, I end up working but more than if I was working for a boss or somebody else.
I do too. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun. And you know what's really cool? That you meet so many great people, that people that are truly go-givers, that just
Mhm.
be like, hey, listen, what can I do for you? Like, in what industry do you ever see this? Typically in the industry, we're like, oh yeah, it's my lead, I'm not gonna share it, it's mine, go away, I'm not gonna tell you a secret. In here, you can ask anything. You're like, how can you buy this? Oh, can you share your lender? What is your secret on, let's say, raising $1 million? Can you share a guy that did your website? And they're like, yeah, of course, I'll put in a good word. Absolutely, this is what I've done. Everybody shares because it's a team mentality, it's a team sport. So
Mhm.
everybody knows each other, right? So if I'm gonna put out good karma, good energy out there, it'll come back to me. So if I'm gonna help someone, and I'll ask for some help, I'll get it. I know I will, and I do all the time. And that's how exactly the deal back in March happened. I really connected with a guy, and he's like, hey, listen, this deal? You underwritten it before. Let's jump on this deal together and make it work. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. What other industry would, offer this opportunity? I don't know of many, but I'm just
That's true.
really blessed. Yeah.
That's true. When you deal with 10x properties, it's all about sharing the knowledge, sharing your resources, and combining power and effort. I want to ask this question for our listeners. Our listeners are professional business people who are very busy and have extra income to invest. What advice would you give it to them?
Yeah, you know what? If you're looking to invest in real estate, do your due diligence, not only on the operator, but on the deal itself. If you're looking to diversify, make sure that the deal aligns with your goals. So let's say if you're looking at back end return, make sure that you have good returns, or if you're an older person and you're looking at more stable and less risk, make sure you pick an asset or an area where it offers. So don't just jump into a deal because you just think it's good. Ask people. I tell people all the time, and few are doing it now. They're like, listen, I'm looking to invest in Carolina now. I don't have a deal in the Carolina, but they want to be there. Can you give me your opinion on this operator and this
Mhm.
deal? And I do. Of course, I have no problem if somebody just asks me for my opinion. I'm like, oh yeah, I know this person. I think the deal is good, but ask them this, this, and this. So please, if you think of investing in multifamily real estate, ask people, reach out, be like, hey, listen, what are you working on? What deal? What should I be looking for? What are the typical returns? Because somebody goes like, I heard a return of 30%. I'm like, 30? What where
From
was
who?
somebody yeah, I know. It took like an hour to explain that. It's kind of sounds funny about, oh, one guy goes like this. I want 10% cash on cash, 3-year hold, day one distributions.
Oh, wow.
And I told him, listen, during good times, I haven't seen returns like this. So where did you get this? So that took another 35 minutes of explaining, especially now, the returns and distributions and cash on cash and
Hmm.
everything. So it takes time, but definitely ask questions.
Yeah, Vlad is one of the friends we have made through our community of Jake and Gino, and it's just showing up to the boot camps or the weekly meetings and just building up trust and seeing how they live, who they are, how they work, how they operate. And if anybody wants to reach out to Vlad, how can they find you?
I have a very unique name, Vlad Arakcheyev. I don't know another one out there. So if you Google me, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, but I always say that I just gotta do it. And also I'm on Instagram. So I post, and you can visit my website, zonticventures.com. I send out a newsletter, but you don't have to subscribe to it if you don't want to. But it's super light. It's very, very light, not heavy newsletter, and it's focused on bringing in happiness. Like, I'm not going to say, look at these rates. Oh my gosh, everything is dropping. That's not me. I'm putting positivity out there. So I just say, look at this beautiful building. Look at all this, economic inflow into Texas, for example. If you want to know more, click here. If not, it's okay. And on the bottom, I have two sections, a media section of a book and a podcast that I listened, or a book that I read. Not about me, just whatever is entertaining.
Hmm.
It doesn't even have to be about real estate. Like, I like motorcycles, right? So if I listen to like a cool book or even a podcast about motorcycles, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That might be interesting to people. You kind of, it might be a real estate motorcycle connection there somewhere. So I just post it on there. So my newsletter is super light and fluffy.
Fluffy.
So
I love
yeah,
that, Vlad. We need that in
In
this
life,
world.
yeah.
We do.
you do, right?
I have stopped looking at news because they are bad news. And then once in a while, I look for that one little piece of positive news, and it says positive news, and I click on that to see who won the picture contest and who saved the babies, and all these kind of good positive news. I just want them to know that that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's the link I'm clicking on. That's what I want more of, because we need more of that. But life is not that gloom and doom as the media make us think it is.
Yeah, I stopped listening to the media. Before I used to rage. I'm like, oh my gosh, look what's happening. Like one story can be turned and switched every which way. So I stopped, and Olga's like, your eyebrow is twitching. What are you doing to yourself? Yeah, literally. So I stopped, just completely cut myself out of the news. The only thing I follow is the CoStar report,
Hmm.
and I follow a little bit of business when it comes to treasury and things like
Mhm.
that. But as soon as I see some news popping up or whatever stuff like that, or like an opinion piece, I immediately cut that out. I just try to be hyper focused on what I can control, and just kind of don't care about any of this stuff. A lot of people like, oh, have you heard about this? I'm like, not really. What is that all about? So yeah, I'm just trying to be as positive as possible, and just very optimistic, and umbrella,
That's
Zontic.
awesome.
So yeah,
Zontic.
Zontic.
Zontik.
Yes, Zontic.
yeah.
So thank you for coming and sharing your experience with all of our listeners, and everybody that's looking to invest in real estate. Contact Vlad and Olga. You will not be disappointed because As you could see, hyper-focus, analyzing numbers. They're amazing. Thank you again for coming.
Of course, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you want a book recommendation or anything, reach out anytime. Olga has like 100 of those.
And
So,
yes, she
yeah,
did. She would recommend a whole bunch of books to me that helped me a lot. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Vlad.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.